Hey guys, it's Sarah and it is already time for my first Project Pan update of the year. So if you missed my intro at the beginning of January, I will link that down below. But this is my year-long rolling Project 10 pan and I actually did finish one of my items. I also came really close to another one. So I will be rolling one new thing into the project this time around, but let's go ahead and get into the updates. The first product is the one that I came super close to finishing, but I'm just not quite finished with it yet. This is the Jordana Pore Refining Face Primer. You can see, I have barely anything left in here. I will probably be cutting this open within the next week or two, and then it'll be finished. So I am sure this will be done in my next update, but I just need to power through the last little bit of this so that I can get it rolled out. But this is a primer that doesn't really do anything. I've just been using it to use it up because I bought it and I just felt like, what's the harm in using it up? So it's almost done. Really excited to have this finished. So the next one is one that I'm actually really shocked at how much progress I made. It's the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. And I was fully expecting this to take 5 or 6 months to finish. So I started last month up here and now I am down to here. The reason why I'm so shocked is because I have panned one of these before in 2019. And I went back to my 2019 project pan to see how long it took me to finish this. In that project pan, I started, I think in June or July with half of this left, and it took me until December to completely finish it. But maybe I was just using way less of it back then or not using it as often. This one I used 20 times this month. I pretty much used it most days that I did my makeup, and I'm loving it. This is my favorite foundation like ever, so it's been a joy to pan. I'm gonna be kind of sad if it goes as fast as it seems to be going. Normally I'd be excited to see that much progress, but it is a little bittersweet. Because if I do make that same amount of progress in February, this will be finished in my next update. I'm gonna be so sad. Next I have a concealer, and this one did not seem to show much visible progress, but this is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. So we all know that this has a crap ton of product in it, and it is hard to see exactly where I am, but when I shine my flashlight from my phone into it, I am able to see through it, and I can see it with my ring light right now. I'm marking the progress just a little bit lower because I do think it's a tiny bit lower than where it was last month, but I used this pretty much the same amount of times that I used the foundation, so I'm surprised that I'm seeing such little progress when I saw such a huge jump with the foundation. But like I predicted, this is probably going to take like at least half the year to finish. So another Jordana product. I have a lot of Jordana products, even though the brand went out of business at the end of 2020, which is really sad. But this is their Sculpt and Go Creamy Contour Stick, and I was working on this for like half of 2020, and I think at least at the rate that I've been going, there's probably only one more month at least until I get it like leveled out with the plastic edge. And then from there, if I do decide to dig out the rest, it'll probably be another month or two depending on how much is down in there. But I love this, been using it pretty much every day. Another one that I was working on a lot in 2020, and I actually repressed it a month or two ago. I think it was in December that I repressed it. This is the Wet n Wild Rosé Champagne Blush, and as is often the case after I've repressed something like this, I feel like I didn't see much progress at all this month, even though I used it so much. I used it 21 times. It looks like I didn't use any of it. I have a feeling though, because this is exactly what happened with the Physicians Formula Healthy Powder, I predict that next month we'll see a lot more progress and I may even hit pan again. So I really think this shouldn't take much more than another 2 months at most. If it does, I'm gonna be surprised. Here's another product that was rolled over from my 2020 project pan. This is the e.l.f. matte liquid eyeshadow in the shade Soft Beige. This I've been using actually as a bronzer most of the time. I can't really mark the progress because it's mostly stuck around the sides, but you definitely can see progress compared to the previous month's photos because now there is a clear ring all around the middle that you can see through. So I am thinking probably within the next month I will take the stopper out. And from there, who knows, it may take a while after that just because I'm sure like the way it usually goes is once you take the stopper out, there's like so much more product in there than you think. But I'm hoping to have this done again within the first quarter of 2021, but we'll see if that happens. So this next product is the only one that I did not meet my usage goal. I set a really ambitious usage goal, so I'm not surprised, but this is the ColourPop Super Shock shadow in the shade Liberty. This is a really, really foiled silver shadow. My goal was to use this 15 times this month, and the goal was to use it a total of 50 times in this project pan, and then roll another one of my Super Shock shadows in, because I'm trying to just use these Super Shock shadows as much as I can. I'm not sure how much progress you will be able to see compared to last month. It doesn't look like I've made much. So I think I am going to amend my total usage goal for this. I don't think 50 uses is going to happen, so I'm going to change that to 25 uses, and then I'll swap it out with a different single shadow because I just don't see myself using this 50 times. I thought maybe I could, but it's just not going to happen. So we're going to change that goal to 25, and then I'm going to have my goal for next month be 10 uses. I think I can do that. I think the 15 uses just kind of overwhelmed me a little bit, and then I just didn't end up using it much at all. But one way that I can use this is as like a cream shadow base. I'm going to try to find as many ways to use this as I can. There's one time this month that I used this as like an inner corner highlight, and then I've used it as a cream shadow base a few times. So I'm going to try to get creative and see how much more I can use this next month, hopefully more than 5 times. And I've found that some of these ColourPop Super Shock shadows are squishier than others. This one is not nearly as squishy as some of mine have been. The one in the shade Bill, I actually was able to hit pan on within like probably less than 10 uses, just because it's such a malleable formula, whereas this one, I just like rub my finger on there and barely move it at all. So I think that this one will probably take a lot longer to hit pan on, just because it just feels a lot more stiff, even though I'm still able to get plenty of color payoff. It's not like it's dried out, it's just not as squishy as other ones. Alright, so the product that I actually finished, I was so surprised that I finished this. I wasn't expecting to have any empties this month from my project pan, but this is the Jordana 12-hour made to last eyeliner pencil, and the last time that I went to sharpen this, the tip completely fell out because there was not much left in there, and that was it. So I did kind of keep sharpening it to see if there was any more in there, and there was not. So that is done. I'm very surprised to have finished this so soon, and so I will be rolling in something new in its place that I will share at the end of this video. So next I have the 2 lip products that I'm working on. First is the Dose of Colors gloss in On Repeat. This is another one where it's really hard to see exactly where I am, but once again I was able to shine it up to the light, and I think I'm about here. I honestly thought I would make even more progress than that this month because I used it a ton. I used it 22 times, but I mean still that's a pretty good chunk of progress. I guess at that rate, I should probably be done with this within 5 or 6 months, which sounds like a long time, but honestly with lip glosses can take forever. So I'm just going to keep using it. It's one of those things that I can easily reapply throughout the day, and it also doubles as a very like nourishing lip treatment, which is really nice to be using, especially in the winter. So I'm really enjoying this, and I am glad that I put it in the project because it's just a really nice gloss. And then we have the e.l.f. Matte Lip Crayon in the shade Tea Rose. So I've been using this as both a lipstick and a cream blush, and I actually did make a decent chunk of progress, not a crazy amount, but this is a very matte formula. It's not super creamy, so you do kind of get like a thin layer when you apply it. It's not like the Bite lip crayons that are a lot more creamy, so I think progress will be a little bit slower, but using it as a cream blush has definitely helped, and I will continue to just use it as much as I can. Maybe I'll bump up my goal to 15 uses next month just so we can kind of try to see a little bit more progress. But this is my oldest lipstick, so I do want to get it done pretty soon. So those are the 10 products that I started out the year with, and with that eyeliner being finished, so excited, I am going to be rolling something new in, and I've decided to roll back in my Wet n Wild eyeshadow quad in Walking on Eggshells. I was working on this a lot in 2020. I did take like a month off from it, I guess, between my 2020 finale and now, but I'm ready to start working on this again because I really do want to finish this quad this year. I think the strategy that I'm going to try for now is to just focus on one of the shades at a time instead of the entire quad. So I had been setting the goal of using each shade 5 times every single month for 2020, and with that I was seeing just like very small amounts of progress each month because I was only using each shade a handful of times. So I think what I'm gonna do for February, I'm gonna focus on the pink eyelid shade. This has already been repressed, which is why it's all like in the middle of the pan there. I would like to maybe not finish it this month, but I'm gonna set the goal of 15 uses for that one shade. That way I can hopefully speed up my progress and not feel as overwhelmed focusing on all 4 of the shades at a time. And I imagine I will still use the other 3 shades and hopefully still see some progress, but I'm only gonna be focusing on that one shade. So that is how things are going with my 2021 project pan. I'm feeling really good. I feel like we're off to a great start, already having one thing used up. And I am thinking next month I will have at least one more thing done, the Jordana primer. This will definitely be done next month. There's no excuse to not finish that in the next month. And then there's a couple other things that I could maybe finish. Maybe the foundation. I would be really surprised, but I mean, with the amount of progress I made this month, maybe it's doable. And then also possibly the contour stick. Depends on how much is down in there. I've heard there's a lot more down in there that I'll have to dig out, but we will see about that. So that is it for my first update of my 2021 project pan. And I do these updates every month, so I will have another one at the beginning of March. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you've not already. I'd love to see you again soon. I upload every Tuesday and Saturday, sometimes bonus videos in between. So hopefully I will talk to you in my next one. Bye.